At this moment, I will look at this target, XD57-WQ40. Okay, let's look at a first visual. First thing I see is looks like human forms, people in a crowded place. I hear sounds of angry voices, smells of sweat, human body odor. This is texture of hair, clothing, people in a crowded, active place. I see some structures nearby. This would be people near structures. Sounds of high-pitched sounds, high pitch, hissing, feels of concrete and steel. These people are active, they're moving about. I hear thumping sounds and voices. I hear a steady beat of a thump thump sound. Just going for basic low-level gestalts here. Looking again to get people again moving. Sounds of yelling. Smells of marijuana smoke. That's unusual. Okay. You know, you smell skunky marijuanas drifting over. What other smells? Gasoline smells. Sewage. People near structures is my basic gestalt so far. Looking this time, this is a bit high level, but I gotta say, it's not right. Horses, men on horses, a bunch of them, a line of them. I'm not drawing them too well. I get more. This is pretty high level, but sound of like clop, 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 hoof type sounds. Smells of wet animal fur, a texture of a horse, a sweaty horse has a very distinctive feel. The smooth, wet skin, and you can feel it. You can feel the muscles tense underneath there. The smell and feel of horse flesh, sweaty horse flesh. Well, continuing on, let's look a little bit more. Some type of textured pattern here. Sounds of rushing, flowing. Smells of a mist, like a chlorine mist. Chlorine smells. texture would be wet, liquid, like water. Look again. More people, a sense of, there's a lot of people at this place. Every time I look, I see people that are bunched together. They're yelling. This is a raucous place. A lot of activity, a lot of motion. Again, a high-pitched sound. I feel stinging spray, sharp. Let me get a visual on that. Expanding outward, gray, white. But the feel of this is cold, but it feels hot if it was to hit you. It is high pressure stinging. I'll get more of this later. I'm just trying to get my feet on the target at this point. XD57-WQ40. Okay, look at this again. In the midst of this, I see a lighted area. So it's dark here, lighted. There's a glow here, people here, sounds of voices, bullhorns, PA, a voice, amplified kind of voice, yelling, not yelling, but urgent type of sound. Smells of wet cement. People outside. There's smells of gasoline. Visual associated with that is a glow like a flame. I'm getting ahead of myself here. Let me... Okay, so I've got people outside, energy, a spray, structures, multiple structures. Let me put all this together. Okay, I've collected people outside, a lot of people, animals that look to be like horses, structure, water, some type of spraying, energy gestalt, gasoline smells, a big structure, a glow, some other type of energy. So let me just arrange all of this in one location. I'm going to put my big structure here. And as I see this, well, I'll look at this individually, but this seems to be a tall structure that people could be up on the edge looking down. A primary gestalt that I got was people, a lot of people. More than dozens, probably hundreds. I can't draw every one, but we've got a mass of humans near the structure. And this is one group, okay? So this is humans 1. There's other people here, over here. Humans 2. I don't know what's separating them, but they feel like they're in different places and have, I'll explain what they're doing and what they're doing. The animals that I sensed, I'm going to put them here, and I just saw and smelled them as horses. And I see them at this point like in a line with men on top. Okay, there's multiple of them. I'll figure out more later. So horses and people, a structure here, a big structure. There is some kind of patterned water gestalt here. It's a combination structure and water. There's liquid here. Could be ornamental, like a reflecting pool, fountain, something ornamental that's outside. What else did I have? More structures here, but not that they're there, but they don't seem pertinent to the target. What I'm interested in is happening more near this structure. There is the spray gestalt is here, and I'll look at that in depth. This is the stinging spray that feels cold and hot at the same time. Stinging spray. There's a glow in this area. It's darker here, it's darker here. I would say this is a late afternoon into evening time period, early evening. I got gasoline smells that go here with a glow. This would be an energy. So I got an energy here that are different. People, structure, a lot of noise, a lot of yelling over here. This would be the clop, clop, clip, clop sound, like hoofbeats on cobblestones or cement pavement on a street. This doesn't seem like a rural area. It seems more urban. So that's my site sketch. We'll go from here. Okay, I'll look at my gestalts in turn. I've got a lot of them, starting with land. Let me get a broad overview of the land. Let me look and see what I get here. Okay. This seems like a nighttime scene to me, like a city from up above. When you look at a city and you can see the streets, it's dark, but you can see the grid work of the streets glowing with that kind of yellow street light glow. You can see the grid work of the streets. I can't see too many individual buildings, so maybe big buildings maybe here, but predominantly I just see it seems fairly flat, urban, with a grid work of streets that are lighted, and there's an area here where I see a definite brighter glow. So there's something getting my attention there that is a lighter area. So urban, city, nighttime grid work, a lot of streets, well laid out, not a lot of hills, not a lot of big tall buildings, at least right in this area that I'm looking at. Okay, here's my structure. Let me look at this. There are numerous structures at this target, but this one seemed to be kind of in my vantage point. So let me, my vantage point on this one is an irregular, this would be like a rooftop. There's adjoining edifices or adjoining parts of this structure. This would be the rooftop. Multiple stories. It'd be things like, you know, air conditioning units up here, an adjacent section of it that's taller, irregularly shaped, vantage point looking down. And I do see people down below, a lot of people gathered. There's a lighted area here. So if it's lighted, this would be a nighttime. I think this target is happening when it's dark here. I hear sounds of yelling. I get a sense of barricades being up here. This thing is glass, cement, steel, big building that people would gather to have events here. I keep getting this sound of high pressure, not whining, more hissing. The way I describe this sound is a high pressure. Something is under great, the word pneumatic, PSI, high pressure. I'll get more to that later. This I get a sense of liquid. I get a sense of liquid that arches and flows under some kind of pressure, and then it's pooling here. I get a smell of wet concrete, spillage, pooling. Terms come to be like pressure valves, flow, containment, levels fluctuate. I don't know what this means, but fluctuate. What did I say? Pressure, valves, pressure, PSI. containment. So that's one type of energy. Let's look at another one. We'll call this energy 2. This is a strong visual for me. It seems to originate from some, I'd call this like a, what's the word? Nozzle. Nozzle. Metallic, smooth, high pressure, has strength, welded strength, and out of it comes, just bursts, this type of pressure that's very stinging. Stinging is the word, sharp, saturated, pressure, directed. It's interesting. Okay. I can see this just burst out and expand like a fire hose. I don't know if it's a fire hose, but it's got characteristics of that. And I sensed another kind of energy. I'm going to call this energy 3. Let me look at that. I get a sound when I whoomp, that low pressure, like a gas flame igniting whoomp. Looking at it, I see a glistening pool. Liquid that becomes fire. Sheets of bright flame. So it's liquid, it goes whoomp. It turns into sheets of flame. Bright, I don't have yellow, but it's bright like this. A pool of fire. Okay, where am I? I've got a number of different groups of humans at this target. A lot of people. They're very active. I'm going to break these into the 2 groups that I see, and then I've also got the animal gestalt. So I look at each of these in turn, although at some point they're all interacting, but they're kind of separate at the beginning. So this is humans 1. Probably going to have to speed this up to show me drawing all these people, because there's hundreds of them, and I want to capture this the way I see it. Okay, so you get the picture. There's a lot of people here. They're closely packed. They're moving. They're surging. They're trying to surge to this thing right here, which it's like their goal. Could be a structure. Yeah, it's a structure, but I don't see it real clearly. It's above them and a little bit distant. The people are small over here, but my vantage point is more here. I get a sense of they're moving like a tide. Loud, raucous, yelling. I hear bullhorns. I hear commands are being given, like somebody yelling through a bullhorn or a PA system, an amplified voice, giving them commands, giving them warnings. These guys are angry. They're maniac. Can't spell when I'm in this state. They're in a frenzy. They've been incited. They're surging. Cheers go up. They surge. Yells grow up. The term "out for blood," I wouldn't want to be in their way. As a matter of fact, that leads to my other people gestalt. Oh, there's something trying to barricade them. It's not working. There's a structure here. There are other people that are not part of them, and they're like fleeing. They want to get away. They want to avoid this. They're scattering. So these people scatter. These people surge as one. I smell smoke. I get a sense of coughing, wheezing, probably from this area. These people sense trapped, run, get out of here, escape, evade. They don't want to be here. These people are nuts and you don't want to be in front of them. Ugly scene. Not a good scene here. Scary thing. This could tip to violence. It probably is tipping to violence. Let me look at the horses. I saw horses with riders slowly walking abreast. I'm going to look at those in light of what I saw happening with the people. I don't claim to be an equestrian artist. this has gone to shit. They were in a nice, like, parade, orderly formation. They lost their formation, and I think they lost their formation because of the surging people, the rioting people. And here's the question I would have, because I don't know this and it's just coming to me, is those police officers that are mounted police officers in a city that are meant to intimidate a crowd, like if somebody's protesting and the horses walk up. Are these guys, the mounted police officers, are they trained for combat? I ask that because do they just assume that if they walk several horses abreast that the crowd's going to disperse? What if the crowd doesn't disperse? Because what I saw happening here is it turns into not armed combat, but the people aren't doing what they're supposed to do, and the guys on horses don't know how to deal with that. And the horses, I don't know if they've trained with riots and noise. I'll have to check this out because I see them going in different directions, losing their coherence, losing their cohesiveness, and just all hell breaking loose. People are able to shove and throw things at them and trampled. I would say at least 2 dead, multiple people injured, a scene that goes very bad, gas bombs, Molotov bombs, chaos, mayhem. Law enforcement has to retreat. Even the mounted horses don't work. The feel of this is like a Civil War battlefield. Not. I don't think these guys are the cavalry. They're not trained as cavalry to actually go into a fight. They just their presence in a ceremonial sense would be enough, but in this case, it's not. So they got more than they bargained for, and people battling back with clubs, throwing things, incendiary stuff. A bad scene is what I see this as being. Let me put some locational data on record. Okay, this is determined location data. I've got 8 locations I believe are cities or locations that we can find on a map on Google Earth. And I am going to determine the direction to the target I just described from each location. The first one is known as 054. So I'm going to go to 054. Second one is 021. 021. 021. 303. 707. 763. 763. 049. 049. 049. 049. 0.005. .648. Okay, we'll take azimuths on those, and there we go.